Tom Robert Smith, Pietrasanta 2011 anteprime, iniziamo con la prima domanda. Il suo libro preferito?
The problem with that question is I can't pick just one book. To me, it's like almost picking the favorite hair on the head of someone you love. It's like the whole body of work is what is important. So I would really struggle to pick just one novel. And I was thinking about it when I came over, and I found like the question was fundamentally quite artificial. I'd have to pick like 100 books. So in some ways, I'm going to duck the question and refuse to say just one book.
Il suo personaggio preferito?
Is that character? Yeah. Well, the character I think that I keep coming back to in my mind is Lord Jim, Conrad's Lord Jim. And this is a character who I think is fundamentally a good person, but makes one terrible mistake and then spends the rest of his life trying to sort of compensate for it. For whatever reason, that character, I think, relates a lot to the main character in my novel, Leo Demidov. So maybe that's why I've been thinking about this character a lot. But that's certainly the character that I keep being drawn to.
Il suo passaggio preferito in un libro?
Yeah, when we're moving back to that, I mean, I would say that again, the question is like, there's so many passages, it feels unfair to pull one out. But if we were connecting it to Lord Jim, then certainly the chapter or the moment where he has to decide to jump off this ship and to leave the passengers on board to drown while he saves his own life. That's the sort of tragic mistake he makes. And that passage, I think, is incredible. And so that's certainly one of them. But again, it's one of many, many. I could probably talk for much longer, but that would be one passage.
Il primo libro che lei ha letto?
Well, the first author that I really fell in love with was Roald Dahl, who is the children's author who wrote the BFG, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Those novels were the first. I remember reading them as a group, so I don't remember which one was first, actually. I just remember the author and thinking, this is an author that felt like he was mine, like I'd read all of his books, and I felt like I'd discovered that, and that was almost like a friend as a child, this author. So that, I would say, was the first.
Come costruisce un personaggio?
I think the first and most important thing is the story that they're locked into. So I don't sit down and come up with a list of characteristics like they're vain or they're intelligent. It's much more, what is the context? What are they doing? What do they want? And from those elements, in a sense, their story, I think their character comes out. So I really work on what is the story I want to tell, and then what is the best character to put into this story. So in a sense, the story is first, and then I sort of develop the character out of the things that they have to do. So that way around, I think.
Qualcosa sul suo prossimo libro?
Yeah, so my next book is Agent 6, which is the final part of the trilogy, which started with Child 44 and The Secret Speech. And Agent 6 really tells the last story of the detective that we saw in Child 44. And it's his last investigation, and he's a much older man, so it's a story really about the end, him coming to the end of his life, and it's a much more contemplative book than Child 44, and it really brings the whole trilogy to a close.
L'ultimissima domanda, i suoi 5 libri preferiti?
Again, I've already said this, but I just picked 5. I wouldn't say were my favorite, but for this, I will pick 5. But Primo Levi, I would pick him. The question, I don't know which one I would pick, though. So whichever was the most popular of Primo Levi, I would put Primo Levi in. So I'd pick him as an author, and whichever book everyone else is picking is the one I would pick for Primo Levi. That's my vote for that one. He's got to get in, I think. Who else would I put in? I'd have to put in Lord Jim then for Conrad, but no one else is going to pick him, so he'll never get in. What else should I put? I'd put the Count of Monte Cristo in for French. For Russian, I'd put in Anna Karenina. And from America, I would put in... let's put in The Great Gatsby for America. There we go. So we have a worldwide spread.